Welcome to Weird Scotland, the podcast where we explore the curious corners of Scottish history. I'm your host, Colin MacDonald, and today we're diving into the forgotten social life of tollhouses in 19th century Scotland. These modest roadside buildings were more than just places to collect fees. They became lively gathering spots for travellers and locals alike, a social role we rarely think of today. Picture it. It's the early 1800s, and Scotland's roads are rough, muddy, and difficult to navigate, especially in rural areas. To fund road repairs, local councils and landowners began setting up toll houses, placing them along major routes where travellers could stop and pay a small fee. These toll houses were typically manned by a keeper and sometimes their family, who managed the collections and helped maintain the roads. But over time, these little buildings, often tucked along windswept country roads or at the edges of small towns, began to serve a very different purpose. They became unlikely social hubs. In an age when few inns or roadside taverns were available in rural areas, the toll houses stepped in, offering weary travellers not only a place to rest, but also a chance to warm up, grab a bite, and catch up on local news. The keepers and their families became well-known community figures, often providing more than just a place to pay tolls. They became hosts, storytellers, and sources of local gossip. Travellers could count on a cup of tea or a sip of ale, and perhaps even a meal if the weather was harsh or the journey long. This combination of hospitality and necessity turned toll houses into something special, a warm beacon of community in the Scottish countryside. As people lingered for refreshments, toll houses developed into informal meeting places where farmers, merchants, and travellers of all kinds would gather. Market days especially drew people to these toll houses. Farmers heading to town would stop to rest their animals, and the toll keepers often had paddocks or small stables available. As they rested, locals would share the latest news or talk about everything from the weather to the price of crops, and even now and then politics. However, this social role of the toll house started to fade with the coming of the railways in the mid-1800s. The trains changed everything, making travel faster and more efficient, and before long, reducing the need for toll roads. The railways connected cities and rural areas on a scale toll roads couldn't match, and gradually toll houses lost their place as travel hubs. Tolls were eventually abolished, and many toll houses closed, were repurposed, or simply abandoned. What had once been lively little stops along the road became empty buildings left behind by the modernising forces of technology and speed. Today, some toll houses still stand, though they're often repurposed as homes or storage buildings. They serve as a reminder of a time when travel was slower, when people valued connections along the way, and when even a quick roadside stop could foster a sense of community. These old buildings tell a story of a Scotland that once moved at a different pace, a time when a toll house keeper could be a local celebrity and a toll house itself a place of warmth, laughter, and shared experience. Thanks for joining me today on Weird Scotland. If you enjoyed this journey into the forgotten social life of Scotland's toll houses, be sure to subscribe and leave a review, and tune in next time as we uncover more hidden stories from Scotland's past. Until then, keep your wits about you, and remember, Scotland's history is never as quiet as it seems. Slint my hath.